We are Stoke Newington International Airport. We are presenting Live Art Speed Date.
It's a wonderful, incredible opportunity for us. We're from East London, so to come all the way here to Tokyo and have exposure to such possibilities is indeed very exciting for us. The show's been going very well, and from that we've had a lot of interest from a lot of different parties. And so, yeah, Connected has been a great big eye-opener for us as a young company, and we're extremely proud and happy to be here.
Yeah, the production's gone really, really well. The people that have seen it really enjoyed it. It's been very exciting using our idea of presenting the work to Japanese culture. It's been fantastic to have the opportunity to see how our work works in a foreign environment.
Yeah, to work with or maybe you should say something about that.
I was going to talk about Yoko. One of the great things is that one of our artists that was Skyping with us from Japan to our events in London has now presented with us in Tokyo, which is great because we wanted her to be in London for so many times.
Yeah,
and working with the Japanese artists that we've worked with over here that have been part of Live Art Speed Date with us, and the team that we've worked with over here as well, have all been absolutely fantastic and have really.
Takendo.
They've all kind of helped us and helped us develop our idea further, so that it's going to continue growing and moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's been a real practice ground for us.
Live Art Speed Day is so much about making connections anyway with artists and kind of getting them involved in what we're doing, making them understand what we're doing. And the festival's done that so fantastically. It's nice to kind of, our project is almost like a micro version of the festival that we've been brought over, and it's been really enjoyable to have that kind of relationship building and growing.
Yeah, of course any connections that we've made with the Japanese artists will grow, and it's been really just wonderful really to work with them and have them sort of come and present their work with us, and for us to know, and for them to know that this sort of mode of collaboration and can really work, and that something like Connected, bringing this show here is it makes it eminently possible for artists of all practice to be connected and to come together.
Just understanding that we will be able to introduce different people to a different idea, and that's worked so successfully. And that obviously affects us and makes our ideas grow, and obviously their ideas grow.
And as your first time to do Live Art Speed Date in a different language and collaborating with different artists as well, what kind of challenges have you had?
It's been fantastic. The first challenge we had was understanding how a different audience is going to interact with our idea. Sometimes in England it becomes very hectic and very exuberant with the audience, whereas we knew that in Japan they'd be more reserved and they'd want to approach the work in a different way. So we had to really think about that in the way we presented it, the way we explained it, and the way we opened the floor to them, and make them feel comfortable, make the space feel comfortable and safe for them.
Yeah. And in effect that's improved the structure of the show and what we do with it. I mean, this show is always improving each time we do it. It's always totally different each time we do it, as a consequence of having to work with a lot of different artists and in different places. So the challenges were really fantastic to overcome and to deal with. And again, it's kind of Connected that's made that possible. And we do now feel completely sort of plugged into the Japanese performing arts scene as a result, and we're very happy about that.
And what kind of opportunities do you see arising from Connected?
Endless, really. I mean, so much that we've had to take in over the few days from the artists and from everyone who's heard about us and come to see us. And Japan has been the ultimate test and almost the doorway to the rest of the world and languages and cultures which we're not necessarily very familiar with, and audiences as well. To bring them together and to see that works on every level is very satisfying and very exciting, because the possibilities are just endless now.
We've got dialogues with also.
We're going to be using some of the Japanese artists we've met here over Skype back in London, so we're going to continue that development, which is very exciting.
Yeah, now we know that, as Zach said, it was the ultimate challenge. If we can come to somewhere as far away and as Japan and Tokyo and make a show that came from our, really specifically our little cultural space there in East London, and if we can make that work in somewhere as far away and sort of culturally different as Japan, then almost anywhere else we know that we can deal with it, because we now have the structures and and the knowledge of how to work in a number of different languages in a visual way, and with a clear set of instructions for a future collaborating artist, then it's great. And, yeah.
And did you imagine that your work would work in a Japanese context or in East Asia? Has that been a surprise?
Well, no, I kind of hoped it would, because
Yeah.
they love being in a little booth. They've got the karaoke booth, they've got the manga booth.
No, the point about it is that what we do is only part of it. Because, the rest of it is to do with the artists that we work with. So it always feels local. So if we were to go to Malaysia or West Africa or somewhere, we would work with artists from there. So the local audience is, not completely surrounded by a load of foreigners and foreign ideas. It's just a different way of allowing many audience members to access different types of art and artists in one structure.
It's also very personal, because the one-on-one experience, the audience and the artist boundaries really blur. So the local artist and the local audience can really blur those boundaries, not amongst their local culture, but with Skype and everything else, just really cross-pollinate around the world and just bring that into a very compressed, digestible, but chaotic environment. And a lot of it sinks in afterwards, I think. There's just this buzz that happens throughout the evening, which is kind of how we're feeling about being at Tokyo. It's just, everything's just coming to us, and it will just sink in, and a lot will come out of it. It's all there. What it is exactly, hard to pin down, but